Our next story isn't for young viewers as it contains disturbing themes. If you've driven from Joburg to Cape Town, you'll know the small towns that dot the freeway as it passes through the Karoo. But what you're unlikely to know is that they harbor a shocking secret, a dark trade that's robbing children of their innocence and their dignity. Guest presenter 𝗀𝗵𝗶𝘀 Gumede-Chizhanje has this months-long investigation.
Through central South Africa, from Johannesburg to Cape Town, run two major highways that provide life and access to the small towns of the iconic Karoo. If you just speed through on the N1 and N12, these towns seem peaceful, quaint. But if you stop and watch, peel back the silence, desperation speaks loudly. You might even think that communities of the central Karoo have been forgotten and see it for what it is, fertile ground for shocking, often unpunished crimes. Over the last 7 months, we repeatedly visited some of these towns to capture a crime hidden in plain sight. Poverty is driving some children to sell their bodies to long-distance truck drivers passing through town. In Britstown on the N12, we meet 15-year-old Kyla.
Kom cream van sulke klein kindertjies wat met groot oomens by die bus staan. Groot oomens. Dit wat in die dorp gebeur. Kinders verkwansel vir hulle.
Most people depend on the government's child support grant, but the money doesn't always reach the children, so they find other ways to survive.
Soos in die bokant dan, is een meisie wat ook dit doen. Vir 'n kommissie vir my die geld vir kos en so.
The children say that many truckers take advantage of their desperation. They call them the bus brothers.
As nou soos iemand wat het koos as padkos toe gaan, om 'n groot man te wees, veel pas nie.
Girls as young as 13 know the difference between circumcised and uncircumcised men. Like Lucy, she was 13 when she got to know the Bus Brothers. We met her in Richmond on the N1, where she lives with her friend. They both just turned 16.
Ik heb in Richmond groot geworden, ik heb school gegaan. Maar toen los ik die school op 12 jaar. Het mijn ma goed in die dorp gegaan en in de beneden geloosd bij mijn oma.
Lucy never saw her parents again and fell into a life of drugs. Now, every day is a hustle.
Ik en mijn vriend het een dag naar die trokken toe gegaan. Van hij was ook een meisje met waar verkopen aan die trokken. En toen hij kon zeggen, hij ging sport, toen hij trok wat staan. Zo rooien. Klim ons aan. Toen ik en mijn vriend met hij booty en seks gehad.
This is statutory rape, perpetrated in broad daylight.
Mannen is zo lauw die kinders dop. Nou zullen aan elkaar aankomen staan en misschien die meisjes wie haar en hij is doe. En vanaf zal hij een meisje roepen wat hij al in de gezien heeft. Hij zal hij nou voor zeggen, hij heeft zoveel en zoveel. Wijze kan hij niet een stukje krijgen.
The exploitation exposes young girls to lives of prostitution and drug abuse. This is how it started for Sarah from Hanover, a major stopover on the N1.
Oh, my girl's name is the Wiggle Girls. And the spot is N1 was spot non-stop. Created by Mama's getting Chucky the Pop. Lovely. Lovely girls. That's what was us.
Hanover is halfway between Johannesburg and Cape Town on the N1. It's where we meet a group calling themselves the Wiggle Girls. They even have a leader, Sarah, who's much older now, but started selling her body at the age of 13 and still remembers the first time she got into a truck.
Maar ik was bang geweest, ik was niet enkele zeker van die dingen wat ik doe, want sometimes als ik omkijk, er is een groot man die in die man kan, maar net zo goed als mijn pa geweest het, wat ik nou moet gaan mijn leven, een stukje brood voor mij.
Sarah broke down as she told her story. She said if there were any other jobs in Hanover, the girls would never choose prostitution.
Kijk, vandaag misschien dat ik nog een stukje vlees moet halen, morgen zal misschien nog niks. Dan moet ik maar net weer zien hoe gaat ik maken. Dat is ons allemaal lief onder. Dus kom ons bouw elkaar op. Dan kom ons kijken naar elkaar als broers en zusters. Want achter is donker, voor is licht.
Sarah says the truckers often drive off with the girls and dump them along the road where they face other dangers while finding their way back home.
Ik was al baie zeer gemaakt al als een vrouwmens. En dan kijk ik voor hulle en vergelijk ik hulle met mij. Die tijd dat ik al ouderdom geweest ben, wat met mij gebeurd het voor eens uit. Ik was 2 keer in de gangrap. Amper al 2 keer doodgegaan.
Yvonne is one of Sarah's girls, and as the youngest, she's considered a bestseller. Yvonne tells us she's 16, and because she's so young, drivers take advantage of her.
Kijk, zoals zij gezegd heeft, ik een klein moest nu, zoals ik niet aan een keer. Baie van die trokmannen, hulle roep jou ook. Zelf jou nou niet als 150, hij net een 150 nou zo. Jij zal ook maar net zeker, nee, ik vertrouw jou. Ik klim ik aan als 150, maar als hij klaar is, hij wil nog vertrappen, kom ook.
As night falls in Hanover, truckers pile into the stops. The Wiggle girls get ready. They work together like a well-oiled machine because everyone needs to make money.
One, the young girls is very nice, is the nice girls. The old one is not so nice. I don't know for why.
This is Dingle, a key member of the operation. Truckers place their orders with him, and Sarah points out the right girl to fulfill the order.
Now you see, even the truck drivers call me, tell me now where I can organize one girl for you, for us, you see. Then me tell the guy, now yeah, the girls is here. Of the girls is there by the location. And that guy asked me now, call me one girl, and then me gonna give you something.
If you are able to organize a girl, how much do you get?
The truck driver give me something now, maybe 20 rand, 50 rand, then it's fine.
So the police know what you do?
Yeah, the police is now me what me are gonna do here.
And they don't arrest you for it?
No, nothing.
Why?
I don't know, sister.
Do you know that what you're doing is illegal?
Yeah, my sister.
From the pimp to the trucker, every person in this chain is guilty of offences under the Prevention and Combating of the Trafficking in Persons Act of 2013.
Trafficking is actually selling a dream and then you wake up in the nightmare.
Dr. 𝗶𝗍 Kruger specializes in human trafficking at the University of the Free State's Law Faculty. She says the exploitation of children for money is covered in our law and it can attract hefty sentences of up to 100 million rands or life imprisonment or both.
So it can either be recruitment of the child. Come, I can introduce you to somebody at the truck stop. You can get a lot of money. You can transport a person, and the exploitation can take place there. That would also be considered as trafficking. Then there's also the receiving or harboring of the victim. So if the victim is harbored in the truck, then that person can also be convicted of trafficking.
But the crime remains hidden because the victims don't know what trafficking is. Outside Britstown, we follow one young girl as she walks on the N12 towards the N10 where a truck is waiting. She gets into the truck, the curtains close, and 15 minutes later, she gets out.
Wat het jy nou trok gedoen?
As Uncle Johnny. Ek raak gesit en te gee vir my geldjies. Geloof my vrou doen sulke goedjies.
Is skool klaar gemaak?
Ek loop nog skool, mevrou, nog 'n skooldag.
Wat graad is jy?
Standaard 7, mevrou.
A lot of the time, the victims don't think they are victims. they often feel they are almost a co-perpetrator because they allowed it, they sort of consented.
This makes it exceptionally difficult for the police to fight trafficking. Captain 𝗀𝗃cie𝗿𝗆 has been heading up the District Police Unit for Family and Child Protection in 𝗀𝗃 for the past 21 years.
There's a lot of investigation that we are doing with the help also from the local police. There's a lot of stories on street. When we are doing investigation, sometimes it's just quiet. Then nobody knows about it. Even when we come to some of the victims that are identified, then suddenly they don't know about this. It doesn't happen with them. We know these things is happening, but the problem is to court them in the act, to have a docket open, maybe so far to take somebody to court. That is the difficult part.
If you then find, let's say, an underage girl in a truck with a truck driver, would you have to have some sort of proof? Because it would be hard to prove if the two individuals are both saying no, or we just, sitting in the car or sitting in the truck.
What is that underage child doing in a truck where it is only an adult, a male? But the problem is sometimes even this, say, girl of 16 years, we take her to the house and the people say, but we don't have a problem. She's visiting, she's washing the cars. She knows the truck drivers. So
your hands are tied?
With every criminal case, we must have a substance to work on. And just to get to that point is the difficult part.
𝗀𝗃cie𝗿𝗆 believes that trafficking is fueled by moral decay, broken homes, unemployment and drug abuse.
The children that are always around the trucks and stuff, most of them is telling that we are getting money from them, we are getting some food. So sometimes I think it's even providing for the household.
We brought our investigation to the attention of the Department of Social Development. 𝗀𝗁𝗀𝗃cie𝗿𝗆 was a social worker for 25 years before joining the national office.
Talking about such a young group, it's really concerning for the department.
DSD knew about the trafficking of women in the Northern Cape, but not about the children.
We don't have that statistics that you were asking about to really intervene in the life space of a child.
We're able to go on the ground and actually speak to these underage girls, but you're saying that you have to wait on stakeholders to get that crucial information to diagnose this problem. How come you haven't done that?
We have been in Northern Cape, starting with the minister's outreach, which was last year, and also other campaigns that we do as the national department. We do the awareness, we do the education, information sharing, to make sure that children build the resilience and understand that if we do ABC, it will lead to this.
The children tell us they've never seen DSD programs in their towns and they don't know what trafficking is. Kyla says some girls dream of being kidnapped, anything to escape their circumstances.
As baie wat sê, julle is bang julle word weggery of julle word doodgeloop maak door 'n ander plek of hy man kan jou hier vanaf ry, hulle bloos vir jou do butterfair en dan kom hy terug hier.
But the CEO of a large Pan-African logistics company, Aaron Dupree, shows us that if drivers are monitored, it shouldn't even be possible to pick up passengers.
I think the basic starts at policies and procedures. But then policies and procedures must be enforced, and for that we use technology. The technologies that we use is in-cab or drive-cam in-cab. That is a camera that is in the cab towards the cab, so it will pick up one when it's an unauthorized stop, two when there's a passenger in the cab. The only problem is at night when the engine is not running. We still track the vehicles. We've got real-time tracking. We've got geofencing through a phase 2000, early 2000s, where unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to interpret it, that's the arrangement we have with the unions.
While unions protect drivers, structures do exist that can support children, but only if the public gets involved and reports cases.
If you identify that a child is being abused, a child is being neglected or exploited, go to the nearest social worker's office. Whether it's an NGO or government, go to the police and report.
Ek wil nie in Richmond bly nie. Ek wil bietjie uit na 'n ander dorp toe gaan. En my droom wat ek altyd kry is om 'n dokter eendag te wees.
My droom is eendag om uit die dorp te gaan, om naar de grote stad toe te gaan. Maybe piesjoppen, so joppen kry, so spaar vir my. Maybe die voer sal ek daarom my grootste droom waar laat word om 'n onderwyser te wees.
Thank you for watching our stories here online, and please subscribe below to become part of our YouTube community and be notified when we upload our latest content.